WF representing Palace, so let's tell you about Palace. Rolling straight to the ceiling, crowns and crystals, top like journeys, dishing out malice. Hold up, South London's grandest, far from bandits. Anything earned for a goal of elevation, just passing the team over here might finish that bright future we can't vanish. SE25 any day, that's sellers. Rev up the engines, no more reverse reactions, fan cams, bands on stream. Share up the team, support the dream team when eagles fly, make noise and scheme. Dare to dream or dream to dare, taking a step to become supreme.
Yes, everyone, and welcome to another edition of TACT-EAGLE. We are getting to the back end of the season now. Some would argue maybe some people might not care about this game. I don't know. But either way, we are here to analyse. And as always, and analysing with me is JC. How are you?
I'm good. Happy to be analysing alongside you, mate. Yeah, I'm good. Don't be upset if this is a shorter video. I want to get that out of the way very quickly. Yeah,
I think we both said there isn't huge amounts to talk about in this one, but the flip side of that is that we can finish earlier so you can watch Inter versus Barcelona. So,
or I can go and play some Fallout, as Rihanna's doing in the background.
Oh, is that 76? Nice, nice. I need to get on that. Obviously, as well, we got our tickets today, so very, very excited for Wembley.
We will be at Wembley.
As a chairman said, we'll be in block 136. So if you do see us, please come up and speak to us. I'll probably say something really ridiculous, and just make sure you comment. Okay.
Do you comment?
But yeah, no. If you do see us, please come up and chat to us. We'll probably be doing a vlog as well. So if you come up to us, you can give your thoughts if you want.
Oh no, my Photoshop's run out. I need to use Paint.
Your Photoshop's run out. How can your Photoshop run out?
I didn't pay for it.
Oh, I see. Oh, right.
Paint.net.
But anyways, let's. I Paint.net. That's my one. Paint.net. Freebie that one. Good, very good. If anyone wants to do any graphic stuff but can't afford Photoshop, big up the dog. Just an idea, IRL content, Football Mafia, but Palace version. What? So how would that work?
What's Football Mafia?
Yeah, I mean, I know Mafia, but I don't know if this is the same setup. Like Mafia is in you're someone's a policeman, someone's a whatever. Yeah, would you explain that for us, please, dog? Big up chairman, big up Rich. Wembley, yes, absolutely. Looking forward to it as well. I see it's going to be a good day. Regardless of the result, I think it's going to be a good day. So, according to the community, either I'm a giant or you are dwarfs. You know what?
I wish not to speak on this one.
Yeah,
I plead the fifth.
I saw that comment. It did hurt, but unfortunately, it is true. So, yeah, we're not the toys. To be fair, Rich is quite tall, so standing next to us is a bit of a mixed match, really.
I think, as a great lyricist once said, in reality, I'm 5'4", stand on my money. Now I'm 6'6". I'm not that rich, so I'm still 5'4", even if I stand on my money. So,
well, they say that the best things come in small packages. I think. Do they say that? I don't know, but
no one said that.
I'm saying that. But anyways,
can you send me the link to the Paint that you use, please? Because I can't find it on the internet, or am I an idiot?
One sec.
Slap it in the private chat.
Where is it? But yeah, guys, we don't have loads to talk about. We'll talk about it a bit more, but I mean, I just think Spurs are, I think they've very much taken their eye off
isn't it?
Yeah, and I think they just very much taken their eye off the. There you go, should be there now. So that's just a link, and then I think if you click it on there, it should download the zip file. But yeah, should we just? No, I was thinking, should we have a quick chat about yesterday? Just whilst we're here, because I suppose we've got to fill some time out.
Might as well.
you know, my kind of summary of the game is that I was happy with the performance. I think we should have won, to be fair, because I think we had maybe slightly better chances than they did.
Personally, I would have taken a draw before a ball was
Yeah.
kicked.
And I mean, because obviously I know we were chasing that 8th place as well, but I mean, in reality, with the results going up, even if right we did win yesterday, you know, we would have still been 5 points off Bournemouth in 8th. And I think with only 3 games to go, you know, we've got to go to Liverpool, we've got to go to Spurs. I know Spurs aren't good, but obviously our record isn't the best there, you know, and in addition to that, who else we got? And we got very Wolves who are playing very well at the moment. You know, I think it's going to be tough. I think it's always going to be tough to make up 5 points in that time. And not only that, 5 points with 3 other teams in front of you as well. Yeah, in my honest opinion, I actually think Brentford are going to do it. I reckon Brentford will do it because I think they've got some very favourable fixtures. But yeah, I mean, I don't mind Brentford, but I don't want to pardon them too much. But obviously, I hope we win, and I hope they, as a result of that, they don't get Europe. But you know, that's without saying like too much for a par there. And also, as well, no injuries. I know Wharton went off with a little. I don't know. It looked like he'd been kicked and he couldn't really shake it off. So, I mean, in my opinion, he's walked off, and I think the reason why he's gone straight down a tunnel, I imagine he probably goes into that. What was it? We saw it, didn't we? Like that cryo trailer thing, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm sure that cryo thing is purely just for like recovery, muscle repair, all that nonsense, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Like we all know, like we play a bit of five-a-side or Sunday football, whatever. You know, if we roll off at first thing we try and do is get some ice on it if we can. So
yeah, you might as well put your whole body in ice.
Yeah, exactly. So I think my personal opinion is I think he'll be fine for the final.
He'll be fine.
If not, he'll have to do a Pirlo. He'll have 1 foot and he'll still be the best player on the pitch. So, but yeah, we'll see. Jason, is there anything else you wanted to add about yesterday?
I mean, I think as I said, I think the main thing for me is that I would have taken a draw before a ball was kicked. And I'm very happy that it was 1-1 because that gave me 3 points in the predictions league, which I'm very happy about. But yeah, I think we should have won it, really. We had enough chances to win it. I just don't think we worked the goalkeeper enough, really. We only really did in the late stages of the second half when we started picking up the ball and shooting a little bit more. I think if we shot a bit more, probably would have created a few more shooting opportunities. I do think that Forest sat in their low block really well. And I do think that I can see that Glasner's worked on a lot of different ways to help Sarr get into the game a lot more. Because normally when we play against a low block, Sarr's been a bit non-existent, really. Whereas in this game, he was using his pace, but instead of driving down the wing, he sort of drove inside. I don't know if you saw that as well.
Yeah.
But he was using his pace to run across the line instead of down the line, which Forest had no idea what to do because we just passed the ball into space and he'd run into it. So we could actually break down their low block quite well. But what I do think they did really well was that I think that they were forcing our hand to go out wide with our fullbacks, because what they would do is they would allow us to have our fullbacks on the ball, but they wouldn't really press them. But what they would do is they'd pack out the box. And to be fair, I don't think we put a single decent ball in the box all game. So I think they defended really well.
Yeah, no, I agree. And I think Forest, well, we did it well. If you look at TACT-EAGLE last week, if you want to have a rundown, but obviously they don't commit loads of players forwards when they do attack because they are, you know, they try and hit teams on the counter. And I think, you know, if you do win that ball, even in the middle of the field, like you still got loads of players back already defending, and you know, Nuno's got them very well drilled in that sense. Right. Anyways, let's move on to the impending game at the weekend. Let's start by talking about their injuries. Got to play the thing, and I can't find the thing. Where is the thing? There is.
So, injuries. Chaddy Riyad. He's injured till 26. Chet Decore is injured until the start of next month.
Mm-hmm.
But that's the end of the season, so oh well. Good news. Matt Turner is back.
Woo! Yeah, well, I think that's why we didn't win yesterday.
That deserves a like. Shameless. Anyway.
And a sub.
Too far. It does say Adam Wharton here, ankle/foot injury. I think he just rolled it. He's not going to miss any games because of that. Just a little bit of ice, and he'll be just fine. Going on to Tottenham or a top spur. What is a top spur? Draguson out until December. Bergvall out until the end of the season. Solanke is back. Heung-min Son is back. James Maddison has ended his season early through an injury as well.
How long have do you know how long Solanke and Son have been out?
I mean, Solanke scored a penalty against Bodo Glimt like last week.
Oh, okay. All right. So
Son didn't play, so most likely Solanke will start, in my opinion. But let's go into my predicted 11s. Here we go. In goal, I've gone with Dean Henderson, with Mitchell, Gay, Lacroix, Richards, Munoz at the back. Wharton, Kamada in the middle, with Ebbs, Sarr, and Mateta up top. Why have I gone with Sarr? Because they are very good technically, but they're not very good physically. So I think we could get away with a little bit less physicality in that midfield. And also, if Kamada's on a good bit of form, you might as well keep it going. Dan, what are we thinking for our lineup?
I actually went for Hughes and Lerma in the middle.
Okay.
Wait, did I? Wait, actually, I might be lying there. No, I didn't. Sorry, I went with Kamada and Hughes in the middle because I think I think he will be fine for Saturday, but I do wonder whether they will just kind of maybe put him on the cautionary side. Obviously, if that didn't happen, then I would put him in, but I just wonder whether they'll just take a little bit of caution with him in that game.
Yeah.
But other than that, that's exactly what I had. Because I did think about, should he put Hughes and Lerma in the middle, perhaps instead, if he was intending on playing Kamada in the final. But I don't know. I just didn't think there was enough there for me, really.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, that's what I went with. I think that's probably about what would happen.
Yeah.
To be fair, it could be, as you said, it could be Wharton, Lerma, could be Hughes, Lerma, could be Hughes, Kamada, could be Lerma, Kamada. Don't really matter.
Yeah.
But
we've got
be fair, that midfield, we've got enough. As I think you're about to say, we've got players that can play in that position.
Yeah,
and do
absolutely.
it well.
Yeah, definitely.
Moving on to Tottenham.
Vicario's
back.
Boo.
I've gone with Spence on the left back. I've gone with Van de Ven, as he's spent the last few games on the bench, making late appearances. I feel like there's probably the best way of him getting back up to speed again towards the end of the season, with Gray at the back. Yes, Romero is also there, but I think the fact that Gray's been playing really well at centre back, I don't think that Andrew want to change the whole back line for another Premier League game. Then again, no, it's Big Ange. Does whatever he bloody hell wants to, mate. That was an awful Australian accent. I apologise to anyone that's from around those ends.
Around those ends. Yes,
with
continent-sized country Australia.
Yeah, with Pedro Spliff on the right back. You know his surname in Spanish means spliff.
Does it really?
Porro in Spanish is spliff. I've
Brilliant.
gone with Basuma and Sarr in the middle, Kulusevski in at the 10, Tell on the left, Odibor on the right, Solanke starting, and then to be fair, it's a very good bench, isn't it? Bentancur, Johnson, Moore, Romero, Destiny Udogi as what's his name? Expressions like to call him Destiny Udogi style. Human Son and the Pigeon. Dan, do you agree?
You know what? I found it so difficult to predict their 11 because I had a look through their 11s and they seem to. So before going into that, assume that they beat Bodo Glimt, their final will be on the 21st. So they'll have 2 Premier League games before they play that. So I don't know. I found it really difficult to work out or to try and think like how in I think they're going to go. Because oh, that was a bad one for me. Because I looked at their 11s right for Bodo Glimt, and it's like the players that you would expect that are available, like Porro, Romero, Van der Ven, Udogi in the back line. Then you got Basuma, Bentancur, Maddison, who I know is injured now, Johnson, Solanke, and then Richarlison up front. But then you look at their 11 against West Ham, right? And it was like they got like Ben Davis at centre back and like Kevin Dancer at centre back, and I'm like, I just couldn't work. And obviously, I imagine they'll go full strength against Bodo Glimt. So I don't know whether they'll go all in for our game or not. Like I don't know. I don't know.
The thing is my predicted 11's all over the place because I've got no idea. Like. Really? I don't know about you, Dan, but I got no idea what they're going to do.
No, I don't either. It really depends. Yeah, it really just depends. Like, I think how much they value this game. Like, are they going to give a lot of those players a rest? Perhaps I don't know. But then, you'd rather give them a rest in not this game, but the game the week after.
Yeah, surely if they're going to prioritize a game, they're going to prioritize Europe, no?
Yeah, I mean, or unless they give half of them a rest. Well, they will, but I mean, they're not going to rest all their players for both games. You know what I mean? Like, I think.
Yeah, they're going to have to go for one of them.
Yeah, exactly. But then that's the thing. I don't know. Or are they going to go maybe rotate some players in this game, then rotate some players in the next game? Like, I don't know. Like, it's really
maybe they're going to go 50-50 for both games.
Honestly, I really don't know what to expect actually, I'll wait until my segment. But like, I found because I watched the Bodo Glimt game, rewatched it, and then I don't know what that was, I also watched their Premier League games, and like, it was like chalk and cheese. Honestly, it was so strange. But anyways, I'll leave that bit for my segment.
But yeah, other than that, I think that's about it for the predicted 11s.
Yeah,
can't predict them because they just keep changing.
Well, yeah, that's the thing. It's so difficult to work out. Let's go through some comments. She knows. And then okay, right. I'll have a read through this, dog, and then to be fair, I feel like I tend to understand things better if I see it. So I'll have a read through and then I'll try and find it. Spurs are away to Bodo on the Thursday. Yeah, no, absolutely. Very long and cold away game. Yeah, it's quite. I think it's like 2 flights to get there, I believe. I expect Johnson to start. To be honest, I think he'd actually play quite well against us. Big up Damo, and yeah, that was quite a big pause. To be fair, right. And let's move on to the attack, which I think is this one. So
I'm trying to figure out how I get a different damn color on this one paint. I've only got black on my pen.
you should have if you go to in the top right, you see where like the
Oh
X
yeah,
is.
I got it.
There's
I
a
need
color
my
wheel there. Yeah.
yeah. I got my pink back. There we go.
Truce.
We are back.
I'm not going to be on this tactic board for too long because, to be honest with you, if you really want a breakdown of Angie's tactics, you could probably have a look at, our previous TACT-EAGLEs. But just to give you a brief rundown, in build-up, they're going to look something like this. Let me give Vicario the ball. Pause.
That's not a pause. I think you're just paranoid now.
Am I forcing it? Okay, fair enough.
Yeah. Allow it, fam.
They look something like this. So you got let's chuck our players up here just to make it look a bit less silly. They build up with a 2 here. Generally, they'll only have a single pivot. What you tend to find, not always, but sometimes, or a lot of the time, you tend to find that the fullback will move inside and they'll swap with, say, like a winger, for example. So the winger is the one giving the width rather than that player, but not always. Like, for example, like Spence, I feel like tends to drift a bit wider than normal. But again, even on this side, sometimes you will see him drifting inside. And to be honest with you, they do like to rotate these positions as well. So it could look something like that. It could look something like that. So on and so forth as they move up the pitch. And that's a key thing as they move up the pitch. Like Saar isn't necessarily going to drop all the way here to do that. Or so Tell wouldn't, but Saar or Spence might actually do that. Now, their main goal when they're trying to play through, so let's say, I don't know, Romero's got the ball, whatever. Their main goal is to try and get into these spaces here, okay? So when, and they do this in several ways. So I've seen, immediately this was Maddison doing it, but if they're, pinging a long ball over the top, they might try getting that way. Sometimes I have seen like when I think because they have a lot of players on the wings. So if you're kind of drawn into those areas, I think they are capable of, and again, it really depends on the personnel here. But they'll ping a pass along the floor into whoever the number 9 is, and they'll try and hold the ball up, draw players towards them, and then try and lay that off for someone for them to then face our goal. And that's a key thing with their team as well. They're very much a team that likes facing the opposition goal. And no matter how they receive it or whatever, whether they pass it or they receive it with backs to, they're going to try and create a situation where they're the ones facing the opposition goal. Okay. And again, this could be a case of maybe the striker does it themselves. Let's say maybe someone drops in and receives the ball, and then they just bounce a pass off there, and then they make a run, something like that. What else did I have? And another way that they might do this is that so the way that they do play very really what you'll see is something kind of akin to this, I guess. Or maybe not that. I reckon it's probably more something like that, really. So you kind of see like a rest defense similar to this. Some of these players, again, they might swap around. They do like rotating. So those players aren't these rigid players here. But, they're looking to do something like this. The purpose of this, again, as well, they normally play against back 4s rather than back 5s. So let's just say that they are playing against a back 4 here. They're trying to... they're really trying to stretch this defense. So then, I don't know, let's say even like, I don't know, Tell has the ball here. They're drawing players over here. So they want to ping that pass, through that space for someone to then try and get. They can't do that if the defense is quite solid, like ours is, to be fair. Let's say it's just something like that. They'll try and work situations where, where they've got a player who's there, is then able to then try and whip the ball into the box, and they'll try and get players in there. And again, it's into this space here. They wouldn't necessarily, hang it up in the air for a tall striker to head in, for example. They're just going to try and whip these balls in. Could be low, could be kind of waist height. That's effectively what they're trying to do, really. Now, the big caveat to this is that it really depends who they play and if they decide to turn up. Okay. Because you know what? They're in terms of their attack actually statistically isn't that bad. So they've actually scored the 6th most goals in the league this season. They've got the 6th most expected goals this season, non-penalty expected goals. They've also finished their chances. Like they've got the 5th biggest overperformance this season in the league. And it's not a case of, they create a lot of rubbish chances. They rank joint 4th for the most most expected goals per shot. So on average, they're still producing good chances. But I just think their way is just falling off a little bit, because I had a look at their record after playing in Europe. So the first Premier League game they play after Europe, right? They've played 13 games this season after Europe, and they've won 2 of them. They've won twice, drawn 3 times, and lost 8. And those 2 times they won were against Man United and Southampton. So they're not exactly, good teams at the moment, really.
Well, what about Charity Professional Football Club?
You know what? I don't think we really.
Dan, last time you said that, we drew to Southampton.
Yeah, but I don't think we're that team anymore, really. I know we weren't great against Southampton, but I think if we weren't in the FA Cup, we would have smashed them, to be honest. But I think but we do. We don't have a great record against Spurs, to be fair. So maybe that will buy us a little bit. But and also like Spurs last 6 games, I just think like they're just not really in the mood for it, really. Because last 6 games they've got 4 points. Last 4 home games they've got 4 points. That's 16th and 14th respectively. That's how they play. The only other thing to mention that I didn't mention, so I just noticed it's written down. If they will try, the way that they'll try and manipulate this, they'll, generally speaking, it depends, but if someone has the ball here, they'll make sure they overlap, proper old school, so then they can find some space and whip it in. But going back to that point a second ago, that I've got, so because there was some love shown for this, I've done it again. I've brought back the graphs. So that's it, guys. Like if you say you like stuff, any particular stuff, I'm gonna keep doing it. So let me just get it up, because I've realised I haven't got it up. Spurs away. So to back up my point a second ago, I think it's quite obvious that they have, dropped off, I would say, since starting to do well in the Europa League. God, could you imagine either United or Spurs are going to be in the Champions League? Crazy. Well, I know it's not a foregone conclusion, but yeah.
If they play like they are this season in the new Champions League format, they're going to be relegation fodder in that league table.
Well, this is it.
Big up, Max. He says, hi, bruv.
Big up, Max. But anyway, here is the expected goals versus the expected goals against. So the blue is expected goals. Red is expected goals against. So, yeah, and then what I've done is, if it's blue, that's like positive expected goal difference, and then the red is obviously negative. So obviously, they started off all right. As the season's gone on, they've kind of tailed away. Now, obviously, what I've done is I've done it as a rolling average as well. So what you can see here is just a bit smoothed out, really. So again, they done on average very well beginning the season. They really tailed off. They're starting to come back a little bit, perhaps. I think that's as some of their players have come back, but I do think that they are just maybe slightly focused on the Europa League. Now, how can we play against this? I just think, and I think, you know what? I think these things I'm going to show you will really show how uninterested in the league they are, I think, because I don't think it's very good. So, first thing, why is there only 3 there? Oh, sorry, whoops. So, what? Oh, for God's sakes, wait, sorry. Do you know why? Because I'd highlighted the red ones all over again. So this is Spurs, right? Looking to play out, and I think they are pressable. I think especially if they're playing these players, they're pressable. Maybe a bit more difficult if they've got Romero and Van der Ven, but we'll see. But he's already done. Pass it here, right? As you can see, West Ham have set up. They got a player man marking the pivot. You can't see it, but there is someone ready to jump on this player over here. This player's effectively going for Danso, and this player's going for Ben Davis, and Wan-Bissaka is going for, I think it's Jed Spence. Move it out wide, and then all they've done. Oh, whoops!
Oh,
is that as soon as
you're not showing it on the screen? Let me put it out.
Oh, is it not there?
No, I just did it.
Oh, sweet! Cheers, thank you. Sorry. So yeah, so going back to what I was saying, so you got a man on the pivot. There's a player here ready to jump on. I think it's Archie Gray. Then you've got this player is basically going to go up to Danso. This player is going to go up to Ben Davis. Wan-Bissaka is going up to Jed Spence. Passes out here. Now, this is a clever thing I think West Ham did all game, right? They really blocked off this middle area. So effectively what they're doing, and because Spurs do play in build-up with a single pivot, I think you can afford, pushing up a little bit. So
a bit more of an aggressive press.
Kind of like I would say when the trigger's right, yes, I would say so. When the trigger's right, yes. I would say when you're here, maybe not so much, but certainly when they've passed out wide, because then here, what option has he got? I mean, he could do a nice pass over here, but by the time he gets there, he'll have gone there. A bit risky with him there as well. Another risky pass there. The only real option is that one. That's the easy option. So then that would be the trigger to then, move up. So this player's moving up. And in the end, all they do, he doesn't do that. So I thought it was a different one. They did that. So that would be the easy pass. But what he's done is he's gone over the top. And then effectively, you're in a 1v1 duel here. He does win this on this occasion. But, if that's Mark Gay in that duel, and then you've got Lacroix backing him up, you've got 4 players here versus Spurs' 3. I'd be pretty confident in the players we've got trying to take that over. So, in a nutshell, I think very pressable. Because, even if he had passed that player there, he's going nowhere. Probably would have lumped it down the line. And in fact, I'm pretty sure on one of them they do. And that's what I did. And West Ham kind of kept this shape up very well, I thought. So this was a defensive shape. Yet once again, you got your player there, you got your player there. All these players are being man marked. You got 2 players, in fact, on the single pivot. Jed Spence will be down here somewhere, but he'll probably be set kind of man marked, but not very tight. Again, this player is ready to jump on this player over here. So what they do, they just end up going long, and then this was West Ham's defensive shape over here. So they had 1, 2, 3, 4. I think there's a player down here. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So effectively splitting it 5 and 5. So, and that's what we do, to be honest. This would be our centre midfielders, and would be our, or maybe not our centre midfielders necessarily. Could be Tyron Mitchell dropping in there, but it's something that we do pretty well. So I don't have any worries about doing something like that. And then I just found they had a bit of an inability to play out with these players. And again, I think it is these players because I did watch the Bodo Glimt game and I actually thought they were pretty good in that. So, but anyways, they take a throw in here and it goes back to this player. Now, this player does well because they managed to run into this space. I think that some of the decision making was a bit odd because I mean you have two options here. Well, I suppose three options really if you're going to be brave with that one. Decides to go for this one, which actually I don't think is too bad. Turns, so you're in a good position here, and I just think, and this is an example of how I'm saying they always want to be facing the opposition goal. Now again, they got, I would say, four options there. You got that one. Maybe that one's probably a bit difficult.
And then straight through the line as well.
Yeah, and straight through the line. And I just think the decision making here was just a bit odd because he passed it there, and by that time, you can already see this player going towards him. So I don't know. I just thought it was a bit of an odd decision. I feel like watching. This isn't like anything specific, but this is just a good example of framing. Right, how I feel like they're just not really quite on it, and obviously the player receives the ball, and again as well, I think it's just all of them because you got this player here. I think that's Basuma. I think that's Basuma, and he's obviously seeing. If he's not showing for the ball, then be ready for this player or whoever to try and receive the ball. But I don't think he is. And, players receive the ball here. He's not in any position, really, or he's not in any open position to really say, give me the ball, which that there would have been a good pass and therefore it would have been a good move. But a combination of, I think, the wrong pass there and then this player here just not really doing their bit. I think, they lose the ball, doesn't go anywhere. And then there was numerous examples of this where they just end up losing the ball or recycling. And I think Wolves didn't have to do a lot to get that back. And finally, this is a bit of a long sequence, but I think it really exemplifies how well West Ham did. And just an example of when Spurs have got these players on the pitch, they just got I don't think they've got any real answers going forwards. So bear in mind, this is like West Ham's box, right? So they start here. Archie Gray, Kulusevski tries to move inside, probably the only player who actually has any bit of movement in this move. Moves inside, but obviously as a 3v2, okay, maybe you could ping apart, maybe get a pass around there, but, you do very well to do that. Really you want that player to move in there, perhaps. I don't know. There's space there. It's not working, whatever, right? So player goes back. So then pass it then back again to this player here. I think it's Danso. But then, within a few seconds, West Ham are just back in exactly the same position they were. Got those three front players there. One player on the pivot in build-up. Okay, this time they got three players in build-up. But even still, Spurs can't really find a way through. West Ham did very well in blocking these central areas. And I think Spurs had absolutely no answers to it. I know they scored, but it was a mistake from Kilman. So it wasn't through their doing, really. But again, tries to pass it to Archie Gray. And again, you don't really have any... Okay, you could pass to Kulusevski, but, I mean, you got one player trying to hold the width all the way over there. Could you argue maybe they try and come back a little bit? I don't know. I don't know where the other players are because you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I don't know where the other two players are, to be brutally honest. There's one there. So I don't know where the other player is on the pitch here. But, there's not really a lot on. And also when you got players who aren't confident to, if that's Adam Wharton, he probably does, ping that in there. But I don't think these players have got that confidence or creativity in this moment to do that. So again, just passes back. And by that time, they're back in their own third. They're back in their own third, and all West Ham have got right in this situation. So Danso comes here, tries to make something by moving here, which is something that they do like doing, because obviously if the player moves in there, players got to take a gamble. If this player goes in there, technically this player then becomes free, unless this player comes over, obviously. But if you do it right, you could get a man advantage in certain areas of the pitch. But again, all they've done is literally chuck 3 players on here, made sure Sarr is, that's Basuma, sorry. Made sure Basuma is covered their central pivot, because they don't play a double pivot, they play a central pivot. And that's kind of it. And again, where did I go? So, I know he doesn't do that this time, so that must have been another opportunity. So he ended up going there, because where they go. And then at this point, they're facing their own goals, not where they want to be. Okay, you've got this player here, but even if you pass that ball here, this player's covering. I think that's Wan-Bissaka's covering him. And then it's like they just don't have any answers to this. In fact, he does pass it, comes inside. I mean, look at the position of these players. I just think they
could give each other a hug.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know. I guess they're moving there. He's moving there, I guess. I don't know. But let's say even if they were there, right, and they were there, okay, he could pass there, but then immediately this player's come out. Can't pass that player because this player's in the way. So,
bit long.
Yeah. So the only opportunity then, really, well, again, and this is tying to what I said a minute ago. Okay, you could pass there. It's probably a decent pass, to be fair. Or, if they're a bit more confident, maybe even like a long pass out there to Archie Gray. Perhaps, I don't know, maybe this player will get there before then. But they pass back. They're back here. They're now in their own third. And West Ham have literally gone from here, right, to there in the space of, I don't know, I can't remember how long it was. I don't know, but they haven't touched the ball. And they haven't really done any serious thing. Now the goalkeeper's got the ball back in their own box. Start again. Okay, pass to Archie Gray. And and the thing is, they know that's going to happen, because the keeper's not going to pass this player because of this player. It's going to be a very difficult pass to get to there, and even
Danso's not paying attention.
Well, Danso's not in any position. Also, he's being covered by this man. So the only real option, I guess, risk-averse one there is this player here. West Ham know that. So as soon as that player passes the ball, I don't know who this is, but they're on their bike. They're facing him up. Again, he's a young player, playing at right back when he's not a right back. And then, all he does is he then whacks it up the line. So you've literally gone from a position where they're on the edge of the box. West Ham haven't touched the ball, and now they're there doing that. And then once again, like I showed earlier, it's a 1v1 situation with the striker, whoever the striker is and whoever the defender is. Do I back Lacroix to win that? Yes, I do. And even if he doesn't, he's got backup.
He's got the pace to get back on his own as well. He showed it against Alanga.
Yeah. No. Yeah. Well, yeah. Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. He's got the pace, and also I think he's got the physicality as well. So, yeah. But in short, just try and fill that middle, really. But yeah.
Get ready for the fun part.
do they defend? But anyway, let's move on to the defense.
So, how do Tottenham defend? I'll break this into 2 sections here. How they want to defend and how they actually defend. There's 2 completely different things. So, here is what they want to do. They want to set up in a back 4 with the 2 pivots to, I guess, screen the back line, and then you've sort of got 4 players up front to, move around, press, and do what they need to do. However, what actually happens is this is all well and good, but they love a naughty little thing called a transition.
Whew.
A naughty little thing called a transition. And the thing is against Tottenham is that, yes, they have a front four, but this front four has changed so many times that there's no real link-up play here going on. So there's a very, very, very high chance you could grab the ball when they're trying to pass to each other. And then when the passing to each other doesn't work because they haven't played with each other that long, then everyone here thinks they're Superman and they try and dribble through everyone, which, newsflash, in the Premier League is not going to work. And the thing is how they attack, as Dan said, they sort of have a rest defense of two at the back with, your one full back inverting with your three in the middle like this. And then you sort of got something like this sort of going on, don't you?
Mm-hmm.
So that's all well and good. But if Wharton wins the ball here, and you've automatically got a man advantage literally on one interception and one pass forwards, it's not a good look. And then also, they don't like to run back. The defenders don't like to defend. I'll show you a little bit more in some images, but they don't do it. And I think the thing to make it even worse, they Van Dijk defend.
Virgil van Delegate.
Virgil van Delegate. Aura defending.
Aura defending.
No shoulder guard.
No shoulder guard. That tickled me yesterday, not going to lie.
Yeah. To be fair, this is what happens. Transitions, bop, 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 shoot, and it's a goal. The reason why they conceded 57 goals this Premier League season is because they defend like this, and also for most of the season, Vicario was injured. He's a very good goalkeeper, but if you just shoot him enough, a goal will go in eventually.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's what we need to learn from what we did against Forest. We didn't shoot enough, which is probably why we didn't score the goals we should have.
Mm-hmm.
But it is what it is. And just to put it into context, Spurs have conceded 57 goals. I'm going to chalk off the 3 relegated teams for the goals they conceded. But Wolves is, apart from the relegated teams, Wolves conceded the most goals this year. And they've conceded 62. They've only conceded 5 more goals than Tottenham this year.
Wow.
They've only... West Ham have conceded only 2 more goals than them. We see where they are on the table. Like, they are dreadful at defending. So, let's talk about it. Here we have the West Ham game. Lovely, lovely West Ham game. Dan spoke about the West Ham game a little bit already, but we're going to speak about it a little bit more.
Did you notice? Sorry to butt in, but did you notice? Right, it's probably the only good thing I'm ever going to say about a London Stadium. It was very, very easy to blur out the advertising.
Oh, mate, you could just get one big rectangle and that's it. However, when we go on a little bit, because I had to do it very quickly while you was talking, I thought, bun the rectangles. I'm just going to scribble it out.
Nice.
But, so, I think this is actually a little bit that Dan spoke about. One of the times I actually tried to dribble out. So I think Vicario, about over here, passed it down here to Spence, who picked up the ball and thought that Wan-Bissaka doesn't exist. So he tried to run through Wan-Bissaka, which, Wan-Bissaka got a block in. There's a tussle here. And Dan, bearing in mind Tottenham's goal is over here, why is Spence this side of the defender?
Your guess is as good as mine, mate.
Okay, that's fine. Let's go on to the next slide. The ball drops here to Wan-Bissaka. And Wan-Bissaka does what Wan-Bissaka does. He goes forwards with the ball. To here. Look at where Spence is. And you think, okay, cool. Tottenham, they've got good backline. They've got good defenders. So you got 1, who's in line with 2, who's in line with 3. Oh, wait, what's he doing there? What are you doing? Wan-Bissaka, as much as we love him, he makes the wrong decision here. He tries to put the ball in here for Jared Bowen. But you've got 2 great options here instead.
Mm-hmm.
How many times have we seen Munoz get here and just go yoink and cut it back down here? That's all I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
So he basically kicks it straight here. And look, even Souček's fuming, he's fuming.
Bad ball, yeah.
Even then, from here to here, these defenders, they never actually engage with Wan-Bissaka. So from here to here, Wan-Bissaka's still got like he's basically got that half of the pitch all to himself because no one's even trying to challenge him. And these guys, they've got so much space in the box as well. And actually, I think they've got the man advantage here as well, don't they? West Ham's got what 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and they've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Well, 4 really, because he's not really in it. So they've got a man advantage in their box just because Jed Spence thought I can run through someone, and that's not the case. Let's go on to the Bodo Glimt. So, Dan, can you tell me?
Wow, you got one from this game. Okay, fair enough. So this is when they're actually good then. Okay.
Dan, can you tell me where Mateta should be standing if Mateta was playing in this game?
I think he'd be in that big space on the D, really.
He'd be right here in the middle when no one's picking up any space. And you're thinking, oh, okay, well, what's happening? So he's been dragged over here. Sar's trying to follow the man, but, you know, he's following the man, but there's still a big space here. He's got loads of time on the ball. Spence is, I don't know what he's doing. He's trying to go over there. You think, okay, cool. But then the same thing's happening here. He's getting drawn in. He's getting drawn in. He's doing all right out here, to be fair. But Bentancur, I think he's in about the right space. This guy should be here. He should back up and be about here. So you've got your centre-backs in good positions. But that's not the case. Let's go on a little bit more. It's so bad that he has got so much space here that he runs here, all the way here.
Well, they don't challenge him.
They don't challenge him. He gets to here, and then he literally does a nice little pass in here. And then the striker comes from about here, runs in here, and takes a shot, and it goes over the bar.
Wow.
So he's gotten all that space, and he hasn't even been challenged yet. And once again, Dan, there's your back line. There's your midfielders. Look at the space that Bodo Glimt have on the penalty area.
Yeah, that cutback is looking very nice, isn't it?
Well, look, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 players to cut back to here.
Wow.
This is at 0-0 as well. So this wasn't even like... So this is probably one of their better games. And there's still glaring issues here.
Mm-hmm.
Glaring issues. Let's go on a little bit more. So, bearing in mind, this centre-back...
there's more.
This centre-back, he actually picks up the ball here from this player. He picks up the ball from here.
Yeah.
Okay, he started going forwards. Think, okay, cool. You know, Kulusevski's going to come over. He's going to try and cut him out. He's going to, he's going to follow him in. He's going to come across. You know, everything's going to move around nicely. Dan, what happens?
Well,
the centre back, he gets to here, and he's still got space. I think, okay, cool. Clearly, there's no passing options here, Dan, is there? No passing options.
Well, I mean, there is, but is there a guy over there as well?
Yeah.
Wow. Nice options
there. So he does go for the man really out wide.
Oh,
and
nice.
And, you know, a little bit of an underlap going on here. Very nice. But what happens is because they're all so
Yeah, I think I can see it.
focused
Yeah.
on running this way, my
Oh,
guy
no,
does a
okay.
little chink back and he goes whack
Oh.
straight in there. Because all of these guys have basically gone here and they've pushed up. He's gone chink in there. He stepped up. Danso, what are you doing? Big man, what are you doing? Nice little pass in here.
Oof.
In behind. Nice little bit of jinky me jinky. Goal.
So basically, what we're saying is Spurs can't defend.
Essentially,
yes.
Go
back to go back for when next one after that it's the next next one that one
here.
See, I thought you were going to say, because I only watched the bits when they actually
had
the
this
ball.
Guy, right?
Yeah, I thought that overlap was going to take that defender that's facing up away. I think it's Porro away, and then there was going to be a gap, and I thought they were going to slide it in there.
No,
that's what I thought they were going to do.
No, it was even simpler than that. He went. So to be fair, he did run, and Porro followed him, but that gave him and this guy
kept going.
That gave him all the time in the world to literally take a touch, get it out of his feet, and then whack it in the middle. And then because this guy made that run and he followed him in, I mean, Danso followed him in up here. So these guys followed in. That's why he had so much space. Like, he was goal side of all the centre backs apart from him. So, as Dan said, quite eloquently, let's say, Spurs can't defend, which means they're going to keep a clean sheet against us.
Actually, do you know what I'm going to check? I'm going to check how many
clean sheets have they got.
I did notice Dog had this question, by the way. I've had a look, and they actually
have 6 all season.
What, clean sheets?
Yeah.
So let's see who they've actually kept clean sheets.
So just to put that into context, we've got 10.
So they've kept clean sheets against United, Brentford, Southampton. They've kept a clean sheet against Manchester City. Wow. That just shows how bad City were back then. United and Everton. Wow. Okay, fair enough. Nice.
So, conclusion. They can't defend.
You know what, as well? I do think the way that we play will really complement the way we defend and therefore the way we attack them. Do you know what I mean? Like, I could really see us sitting in like a mid-block or a mid to low block, and then every time we win the ball, we just ping it over the top to like Sarr or Munoz or whoever it is. And I think, depending on who plays, obviously, like, I think we're going to give them a lot of problems. One thing I noticed as well, I don't know if this is a question, I guess, and because it was something that I kind of noticed, but I wasn't sure what you thought. I feel like they don't really press as intensely as they used to. I feel like they press like under triggers and like stuff like that, like other teams do. But I feel like they're not as aggressive in their press as they used to be.
Is this Ange's first season or his second season?
This is his second. Did he have a full? Yeah, he had a full season last season. So yeah, it's his second full season.
Because I remember when he took over, I can't remember if it was this year or last year. To be honest with you,
no, maybe he's been in 3. Sorry, maybe he's been in 3 seasons actually.
Because I do remember when he came in, he was a very forward-thinking, forward-pressing kind of manager. Yeah, and the thing is what Spurs did when he first came in is they'd blow you out of the water first 25, 30 minutes, and then they'd sit back on what they've got because they've used all their energy. But now it looks like they've got no energy from the start, and they don't press. If they do press, it's probably only one of them, and the one person's Kulusevski. He seems to be the only one that gives a you-know-what in their whole team. To be fair, I do think Archie Gray does, but Archie Gray is a DM. They've played him centre-back, they've played him right-back, they've played him left-back. Yeah. You've got to feel sorry for him. He's made a big money move, and he's never played in his actual position.
No,
and you'd think, you know what? If you put him in there instead of Basuma, they'd probably be a way better team. But the thing is they can't risk it because he's probably their best right back. He's not even a right back.
Yeah, because I know he did kind of play right back for Leeds, but the thing is, he was more like he more inverted into he was more like an inverted fullback, and also
which is a DM, really, isn't it? An inverted
and also
fullback.
and also his championship as well. Like, do you know what I mean? Yeah, exactly. But effectively like a DM, really. If someone asked me what is Archie Gray's position, I would definitely say like a defensive mid or centre mid or something like that. So, you know, I think the fact that and also I think that's points this season he's played like centre back, and it's like
Yeah, he has played centre back.
And I think he's only like 18 years old as well. Like, yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, so Spurs have got an unreal player. They're just not using him properly.
Yeah. So Anne's joined in 23. So July 23. So 23, 24.
2 seasons.
Yeah, so he's only 2 seasons. Yeah, so I thought it might have been 3, but yeah. I feel like they're like. But the thing is, I would do wonder whether they are lacking intensity. I don't know whether it's on purpose or that the players don't care, or whether it's they are focused on other things. Now, I haven't really watched them enough through the season to really categorically say, to be honest. But certainly, as of late, they definitely look like they can't be asked. But anyways, let's go through some comments and then we'll round us out with some predictions. Where did we get to? We got to here. Why do I have a feeling this interfering Spurs might be looking at the 20th loss? You know what? I'd like to think so. Actually, that's a good question. I don't know.
19 losses.
When was the last time that we
haven't beaten them at their place?
No, definitely not their new place. When was the last time we beat them just ever at theirs?
I think it was Martin Kelly.
I think it might be, you know. So
when was that? 2013?
No, Martin Kelly was 2016 because that was on the lead up to the last final. The last time we beat him in the league at their place was 1997. Nice. And I'm not gonna say who scored our goal because he shouldn't be associated with the club. So we'll leave that. We'll park that one. Hello, Max. How are you? Hello, chill out. How are you? TC, how are you?
You know what? I've been called TC. I've been called JD. I've been called everything.
Apart from JC. TC's a good DJ. Good news. Drum and bass. Good news. Good news, Dan. The balloons have turned up. The day is saved.
We know Dan loves balloons.
Whoa.
Whoa.
Big up, Earth. No, it's chairman's on it.
Our chairman's on NOS. Confirmed.
I don't know. I think there's probably going to be a lot. There's probably going to be a lot of them at the ground because we managed to raise like 50 grand or something stupid like that. Mm-hmm. We've had that question. 1-0 Inter Milan. Yeah, definitely catch the second half.
Yeah, Lautaro.
Now lower mid-table side. Yeah, I think I personally think they need to invest a lot more as well.
Wow. Remember when they tried to scrape themselves into the Super League?
Oh yeah, scrape. Yeah, we're good, Luca. How are you? Thanks for tuning in. I appreciate the comments. Thank you very much. Yeah, we're good. Hope you're doing good too. Can I expect a Tottenham vlog, Jarl? Yes, JC and
Jarl will be expecting one.
They will be there.
We'll be there. I hate Tottenham away.
It's a long walk, isn't it?
Seven Sisters is long.
It's long. And I know there's a little train station there, but you don't want to go to that. Big up to the man, the myth. He's only playing COD whilst talking about legendary tactics. Is that COD in the... No, it's Fallout. Fallout 76. Fallout 76. Right. Predictions. I think we're going to win. I'm going to say 2-0 Palace. On the caveat that they play a similar team to they played at West Ham.
Yes. I am going for 1-0 to Tottenham. Just because I've been there so many times, Dan, and we've lost every single time, and we are so rubbish at their new damn stadium. So if I predict a loss and we win, I'm gonna feel very happy. If I predicted a win and we lose, I'm gonna be very sad. I'm counteracting the sadness.
Yeah, fair. Dog saying 3-1 Palace, France a goal if he gets on the pitch.
Earth's gonna give me a red card now because I predicted us to lose two times this year.
Just wait until the next TACT-EAGLE. Right, guys. Yeah, next week will be the semi-final TACT-EAGLE.
Semi-final?
Sorry.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I called it the semi-final today as well. The FA Cup final TACT-EAGLE will be next week. Probably the same time, but
it'll be similar to the Fulham one and the Aston Villa one, where we definitely went and analysed our league games instead of how they have been against other teams.
Yeah, we'll definitely do that. But yeah, I don't know what else is happening this week, but like I say, is up the Palace.
FGHIJKR.